Hey guys, it's Charlotte and welcome back to Beetle Books. Today I'm going to be doing my November wrap-up, which didn't go very well. The month started off really well, and I read like 3 books in the space of 2 weeks, which for me is really good because I don't read very fast. But then it kind of went downhill. I went into a bit of a slump. I don't really know what happened, but hey, I read 3 books. But I finished one today that I started in November, but I'm going to put it in the November wrap-up because I just want to forget about it. I need that to end. Anyway, the first book that I picked up in November was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This book was absolutely incredible. I loved it. The way it was written, the characters, what happens in the story, all of it was just awesome and so well done. I absolutely just adored this book and the characters. If you don't know what this is about, it's about a boy and his grandfather's a bit loopy and he tells all these stories to him. And then it ends up he goes to an island and he finds an abandoned orphanage. I don't really want to say too much about it because when I went into this book I really didn't know much at all. I read the blurb and that was it. That's all I knew about it. And I think that's the best way to go into this book because it is just, I think it's that kind of story where if you don't know what's going to happen or you have no idea the kind of characters you're going to meet, I think that's the best way. I also love this edition as well because it's got the pictures in it. He shows Polaroids, or he finds Polaroids in the story, and this book has the Polaroids in it, which I think is pretty cool. So I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars, and rightly so. I think I'm going to pick up the second one in the trilogy next month. Or this month. This month. I'm so confused. The second book that I picked up was a historical fiction novel called The Miniaturist, and this is by Jessie Burton. This is the first Jessie Burton novel that I've picked up, and I really liked it. It totally wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was gonna get from this novel, but it wasn't what I thought. It wasn't what happened. I didn't think it was gonna be that. This story is about a young woman who is forced, like she's going into an arranged marriage. So she marries this guy, I can't speak, sorry, and he gets her a gift which is a miniature version of the house, and she ends up finding a miniaturist to kind of make her more caricatures and like little bits of furniture for the house. The things that she gets from the miniaturist start to resemble real life and all of the drama. I was kind of unsure about it because this book basically has any kind of drama or every kind of twist you can think of. This book has it. It was just crazy. I had no idea what was going on in the whole time I was reading it, but it was fantastic and beautifully written. I gave this one 5 stars and you should definitely pick it up if you like historical fiction. Oh yeah, and it's set in 1686 in Amsterdam. I forgot to mention that. The next book I read was like picking up an old friend because it's part of the Ugly series and it was the final book, Specials, which technically isn't the last book because there's a book called Extras, but that's with completely different characters later on, and I just count that as a completely different book. This book was awesome. It's just simple YA awesomeness. I do quite like a bit of YA dystopian literature in my life, and the Ugly series, I've been reading it for like 2 years trying to pick up these books, but I never forget the way it's written and I never forget the characters. I can always just jump straight back in. So it was kind of a bit bittersweet finishing this. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what this one is about because it's the last book in the trilogy, but the first book is about this dystopian world where people who are normal, like we are now, are considered uglies, and then when you turn 16 you get an operation that turns you pretty. It's a really interesting concept on like today's society and how you're supposed to be pretty and yada yada yada. I recommend picking it up if you do like YA dystopian novels, but it is also quite old, so maybe I missed the boat a little bit. I gave this book 4 stars and I love it. Oh yeah, and I keep forgetting to mention the author. It's by Scott Westerfield. God damn, I'm really bad at this. So the final book is the book that I picked up for the Tome Topple readathon, so I guess this is kind of a Tome Topple wrap-up as well, but I did so badly in that readathon. It's All the Light We Cannot See, which was beautiful. It was beautifully written, it was incredible, the characters were lovely. I really loved this book. I just didn't pick the book up, and that kind of made it feel like the book was dragging even though the book wasn't. So this book is awesome and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but you need to read it and keep reading it, otherwise I think that it does kind of drag on a little bit. This has got loads of different characters in it. You've got the blind girl called Mary Law, I think that's how you say her name, and then you've got a soldier called Verna, and then you've got her grandfather and also her uncle, and Verna's sister. And all of these characters, all of their stories kind of interlink a little bit, and it's just about what happens to them during the war and their time in the war. I really loved it. It was just fantastic, really well written. Although one nitpick This author, who I forgot to say again, but it's by him, he says "and" a hell of a lot. But then again, this is probably translated. I'm not actually sure. Maybe just ignore that. So that's it, that's all the books that I managed to read in November or around it. Let me know if you've read any of these books as well and what you thought about them. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more, and hey, if you want to come be my friend on Goodreads or any of the social media, that's all down below too. Plug, 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 plug. Thank you to everyone who's being really nice on my cover video. That's really cool. That's the first time I've done anything like that, so bit scary. But thank you for being so nice about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye!